Good evening, everybody. I hope you had a nice weekend. I am sort of realizing that I'm getting close to the end of the runway that I had for all the stuff that's coming up in April. I know some of you are looking forward to another series on YouTube, which is due to start then. There should also be, if I can, some time that I'm putting towards a few things that I'm sure a few of you have forgotten that I've even done. But I don't. The tricky part here is that I don't like announcing stuff ahead of time because that just tends to create disappointments. Either the thing is available and everybody is happy when it becomes available, or the thing doesn't become available for whatever reason, and inevitably people are disappointed rather than just having the enjoyment of playing around with it. But needless to say, I think as long as I can just manage the time, I think people will be happy with how I spend my time for the next little while. Which of course brings me to the game I'm currently playing, Against the Storm. The way that the week is working out is Hooded Horse has been incredibly generous in terms of just the attention and the keys that have been given. There is actually one game that I would like to put some time into playing. I've installed it, but it occurred to me that's probably one that I can't really do as a one-off. But Clan Folk is one that I would like to cover at some point, and I just sort of realized that I don't have much of a head for those games. So there's going to be a little bit of a learning process as well, which I like to do live just because I tend to notice people will, more so if I play like a Civ-like thing or that, but sometimes people are like, oh, this game looks so interesting, but I could never try it myself. Well, it's nice, in my opinion at least, if you see someone who plays the sorts of games that you like, to then show the process through which they take on a challenging or a new game, and to sort of demystify that process and sort of show that there is actually a way you can approach these sorts of things to gain a better understanding. That's also true for Against the Storm, incidentally. I know it better than I did at the start, but I think there's a lot that I can work on, which is what we're going to be doing today. But I really like it when I'm able to do that kind of coverage. And obviously, there's only one chance to do that in like an improvisational way. I can always sort of try and replicate the process of learning, but the actual process of learning is one I'm only ever really going to be able to do once. Everything else is just sort of becoming reacquainted with the game. So with that in mind, um, Hooded Horse has been nice enough in terms of the outreach, and I certainly enjoy. It's not charity that I'm doing here. They publish some really wonderful games that they've got sort of a dedicated day on this broadcast, which is the Mondays. Brace Yourself is in a very similar position. In fact, they really kind of came in at a time when a relationship sort of seemed to fall apart, and they sort of stepped in this very nice way with Industries of Titan and Phantom Brigade. And it's worth noting that there's a bunch of other things that they're working on. So Godless is available right now. Super Raft Boat Together will be coming out, I think, reasonably soon as well. And there's also Rift of the Necrodancer that we have to look forward to. And I'm sure there are other publishing games which are Brace Yourself publishing games which are coming up that I maybe not remembering. But with that in mind, of course, with 2 days sort of dedicated to specific publishers, it does really only leave me the Friday open. And so that's one of the reasons why I've been enjoying a nice session of Against the Storm. And I've actually really been feeling like doing Old World a bit more too. But, where I can, I try to keep a bit of focus on a given game. Essentially just try and give it some room to breathe and learn a little bit more about it. Which, of course, brings me to the sort of disclosure that I should give, which is, of course, that I was given a copy of Against the Storm for promotional purposes. It is a thing of value, a video game. So it's one of these things that you want to communicate upfront. I'm very enthusiastic both about the publisher and their games, but it is also something that it's something I want to be conscious about in terms of communicating. Now, I'm trying to make a decision. As some of you will have seen in chat, the chat minigame is enabled. Now, joining on the forest side does actually make the game more difficult for me. And I am trying to keep some focus in terms of what... like, I'm trying to keep some focus in terms of how I approach the game. So I'm wondering whether or not it's a good idea for me to have that enabled. I think I'll try and keep it for now, but I am just going to reserve the right to disable it if I find it's getting in the way of the thing that I want to do right now. One of the things I wanted to do, though, is similar to Terra Invicta, and that's take some notes. So, in addition to playing and enjoying this wonderful game, one of the things that I want to be doing for this broadcast in particular is to focus a little bit on why I'm buying specific buildings and basically just trying to work out an overall game plan. I don't just randomly select buildings, but I do tend to notice that my thinking is very much sort of only one step ahead, whereas I feel that a longer-term planning might be a bit more appropriate for Against the Storm, and particularly if I want to be trying some of these harder difficulties. So, Olaf and Wundfor, two wonderful names to see in the broadcast. I hope you're all doing well. Where are we? I think I said I was debating about giving up some of the food, but I do actually think the investment in the extra resources is nice. So we are back to the marshlands. Now I should probably know a bit more about the marshlands than I do. Yeah, let's give this a shot. So, I could start with 8 total or 9 fixed beavers. I think probably the 9 beavers is where I would want to go with this. A harsh and cold land that has been claimed by many different and extremely resilient species of fungi. The ground here is extremely hard and rocky, making it difficult to farm. However, it is also famous for its abundant fauna and insects. Okay. So again, I'm going to be making some notes here. So I'm not ready to go back to Viceroy yet. I'm going to do Veteran. Now, I don't think it gives me the details in terms of what the beavers want in terms of their consumption. Abandoned camp, traders are afraid and will not visit this area. Neither trading nor trade routes are available. Interesting. So we've relied on trading quite a bit. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do now... This is actually a really good one for me to learn these lessons then. So... eggs, stone, mushrooms, meat, wheat, coal, copper. So apparently from trees we get wood, mushrooms, and leather. So marshlands are gatherer's paradise. Gathering speed is increased by 10% for every 2 workers assigned to gathering camps. Giant organisms, the marshlands, are home to enormous life forms. Giant resource nodes can be found in the Forbidden Glades. Each glade will have a different one. Okay, so there's 2 ways that I can think about the embarkation bonus. So one would be to grab the resources that we don't have available to us, or 2 would be to double down on what we're going to sort of build around. There's kind of arguments both ways. I think, generally, I'd like to have additional villagers. So in this case here, it's really a question between wood, roots, eggs, and vegetables. I think in this case, I'm going to go for the vegetables. So we should have 12 bodies for the... Alright, so hot springs. Rainwater geysers produce pleasant heat in their vicinity. Geyser pump operations get +10 to resolve. Looming darkness, the rampaging storm stifles the spirit of all living creatures. An additional stack of this effect is added for each hostility level. Horrors from beneath, strange voices call from the depths. Villagers working in mines get -10 resolve during the storm. Oh my goodness, 1-4. First of all, thank you for stopping by at such a late hour. Actually, it must be similar for you, Olaf. But yeah, I've actually had this problem myself, which is I started eating later, and as a result, like when I'm getting ready for bed, I feel kind of hungry. I'm trying to resist the urge. Okay, infused rainwater slowly evaporates. You lose 1 unit of a random type of water for every 2 units of water used in rain engines. Okay, that's when hostility 2 is up. Absorption. Blight rot cysts consume the storm's energy and become more resilient. Burning cysts takes 5 seconds longer. And piercing winds, extremely strong winds, make it difficult to sustain the holy flame. Fuel consumption is increased by 200%. So, hostility 3 is one we're really going to want to push hard against. But I'll be honest with you, we've had worse in terms of forest mysteries for sure. So, just as a reminder, I'm going to be taking it quite a bit slower this time around for the specific reason that I would like a little bit more of a deliberate approach to the game. Oh, that's really cool. I'm sure I've seen it before, but it's kind of neat to see buildings in sort of the flooded area. I'm curious if there's anything else we haven't noticed. Yeah, there's another one. Fun. Okay. So we've got 10 beavers, a lizard, and a human. What am I gonna do with this? So, one thing I want to try and do, again, we're going to be taking a, I want to make sure that I'm being a little bit more deliberate in my actions here. So I want to reacquaint myself with hostility. I believe chopping down trees is a way to generate hostility. You start with each settlement, you start each settlement with the hostility of the forest at level 0. As your own town grows, this hostility will slowly increase when you perform certain actions, like discovering glades, welcoming new villagers, or assigning new woodcutters. You can find the full list of hostility sources by hovering over the hostility icon. Alright, I tried doing that, but we'll try that again. Some actions can lower the hostility of the forest, like building additional hearths or letting the queen's impatience grow. With each hostility level, a negative resolve penalty is applied to all villagers, and new forest mysteries can become active. Forest mysteries are generated at the start of each game based on the map's difficulty and biome. Each effect is only active during its corresponding season. Positive effects occur during drizzle, while negative ones are active during the storm. Some effects are simple modifiers that influence production, reduce speed, or destroy buildings, but some are based on villagers' needs. For example, hailstorm can kill villagers during the storm, but if they have a home, they will be safe. Okay. So, years that pass, regular glades, dangerous forbidden glades, villagers, woodcutters, and then hearths and queen's impatience will push back. Okay, so the fact that I keep going through glades reasonably quickly is definitely a factor. I've also only ever really built one hearth. Then again, I've only ever really needed one hearth. So I don't think I'm going to change my actions too much. But let's take a look at my overall plan. So I've always been reluctant to go into dangerous glades too quickly. And seems to me like we actually have a few options for relatively safe ones. So, for starters, we'll build... I keep getting this wrong. So one woodcutter's camp here. One here. I may build more because wood is very helpful to have, but I don't want to go too nuts at the start. Okay. Other gathering. So I don't think there's a big problem putting down an herbalist's camp and a trapper's camp. Because I believe we just... Basically, I believe we just wind up... Oh, did I get this wrong? I hope. It would be nice if I got an indicator. I can't remember if... I assume that pushing this up makes this the higher priority to complete, which is what I want. So I'm really making a meal out of starting this off, but I'm trying to, I'm also trying to accommodate all the different needs. So we need 4 of these. I don't know why I didn't do shift in that. Oh, I already blew it. All right. Okay. So we've got when the evil queen of the forest shows up, you... Yeah, actually, it's the queen. The queen is not of the forest. The queen is the person who's sending us out. Okay, so the reason... Sorry, the more deliberative approach that I wanted was also to figure out production lines for, like, my people. So... I want to get a little bit of when I get a bit of an idea in terms of what I'll need in terms of the varying demands, beavers are definitely going to be they're the most populous one. They're also probably going to be the easiest to keep happy. But let's break this down to food. So biscuits, pies, I believe. Okay, so I've got jerky, biscuits, pies, pickled goods, and skewers. Clothing and leisure. Education and luxury, and then brawling and religion. So there's some interesting patterns that I'm already seeing in here, right? So when I take a look at overlaps, so for things that are 2 or more, biscuits, pies, pickled goods, and jerky are all things that are requested by multiple groups. Same with clothing. Leisure. Education is a solo need, as is luxury and religion. So the ones that I would normally want to focus on would be biscuits, pies, pickled goods, jerky, clothing, leisure, and religion, all things being equal. But of course, the other thing that I want to focus on here is what buildings do I have? Like, how am I going to be able to satisfy these? Which will bring me to the recipes panel. Maybe this would be one for the... This might be one I actually need to look at the encyclopedia for. Surely there is a better way for me to figure out the recipes. Doesn't look like it. Okay. So an artisan is interesting for us. For clothing. I'll see that in the tooltip. But of course, we need to figure out where we get fabric. Now the bakery, there's something that's worth noting here in terms of the bakery. So this is where I really want to start focusing on some details. So biscuits, pies, and pottery. This would be a really good building for me because all of these things are going to help me with either the complex foods that I need right away. So in this case, the biscuits and pies, but also in terms of the pottery, which will help me with the pickled goods. Now, of course, flour is going to be the most difficult for me to figure out. But what I also want to work out here is for biscuits. It's not just flour, but it's herbs, roots, or berries. None of which, incidentally, are available in the biome, it would seem. Okay, so cookhouse is another interesting one. So skewers can be made out of insects, jerky, meat, and mushrooms. So I think the mushrooms are the obvious step there, but we need to follow it up with something, which in this case would be eggs, roots, berries, or vegetables. Now what's notable here, right? So when it comes to the marshlands, we know that we have eggs, we know that we have mushrooms. So basically, one thing I may want to focus on is a constant stream of sort of mushrooms and eggs, just to kind of keep the basic, or well, not basics because it's a complex food, but just so I can keep the skewers running. The only drawback here, of course, is that skewers are something for the lizards. I don't believe the humans or the beavers want them. So while I have I have reasonable access to a specialty, it's not quite the specialty that I want. Okay. I'll probably wind up making fabric out of leather, but we'll leave that aside for now. Okay, so pickled goods are another one that I want to look at. So that will be... Actually, there's a lot of options here, so... So vegetables, mushrooms, roots, berries, or eggs. Mushrooms and eggs are the most likely for me to get from the environment. The other thing that we need are pottery, barrels, or water skins. Now this is notable, right? So let's take, let's go to the brickyard again, just so we can get this. This is where I want to start being kind of careful in terms of, oh, actually maybe pottery isn't what I want. Well, we can work this out. So pottery needs clay and either wood, wood, oil, coal, or sea marrow. So what this means, given that clay isn't readily available in this area, this pottery is actually quite a costly option for me. So one of the things I might want to take a look at would be the cooperage. So in this case, barrels. Now this is a tricky one. So all well and good, but that's going to require copper, which at the very least is available in the region, but that's also going to involve its own work. So planks. So it's either copper or crystallized dew. Okay. What was the last one? It was water skins. Ah, okay. Here's a good thing. I always thought that flour could be made from grain, but as it turns out, flour can actually be made from mushrooms, so we're good there. Um, okay, things are picking up a little bit in terms of what we have access to then. This is again why I wanted to take the time. Like, it's weird to spend half an hour just going through the encyclopedia, right? But like I said, I wanted to be a little bit more deliberate in some of the choices that I was making. And hopefully this is going to be what helps us with the ne'er-do-wells who want to take away our goodies. Okay. Jerky. That's a pretty easy one. Ah, okay, water skins are an important one here, so it's either oil or meat. So a lot of this depends on how much leather we can get. Okay, so it seems to me like incense is a need for religion. We'll maybe leave that aside. In fact, I think I more or less have what I need to move forward. What I will say, though, is fabric. We need reeds, leather, or fiber. Okay. Tricky. The biggest difficulty I have here is figuring out exactly where... So remembering some of the ideals for us would be biscuits... Well, actually, okay, so biscuits, pies, and pickled goods are the real... those are like the real winners. So the pickled goods get a little tricky because of the pottery barrels or water skins, but in theory we can help out with barrels. Sorry, I just need a second to reorder. Okay, so the really tough part here is that when I take a look at biscuit, so again, herbs, roots, and berries. Now, where we're at in terms of this playthrough, it would make sense to go for an herb garden so that I can grow my own. Because it would seem to me that berries and berries and roots, neither of those are available as part of the environment. Likewise with pickled goods, so vegetables, mushrooms, roots, berries, and eggs. Well, we've got both mushrooms and eggs, and they're reasonably plentiful. Wait, did I not write down pies? Pies are an important one. Ah, okay, so pies save the day, actually. So that's herbs, meat. Okay. So I think one of the things I can say about this, so like one way, if I wanted to like sit down and make the whole evening about planning this all out, I could actually try and work out like which of the goods comes up most frequently so that I can prioritize the buildings along that way. I'm not going to go that far into it, but I have a pretty clear idea now about what my needs are going to be. So I don't think I'm quite ready to select here. So we've got a press, a cellar, a smelter. Okay, the smelter actually looks like a good one. So yeah, the smelter or the brickyard. In this case, let's just double check here. So if we can get copper ore and wood, we get copper bars. Now that is going to matter when we want to build tools. Assuming I can build tools. So let's maybe just double check that we have. Well, carpenter's a good example here, right? So if I get copper bars, I can make that. I'm actually also curious. So the brickyard, eh? I would never have guessed you would have connected these things together for crystallized dew. Now this is a tricky one, right? Because between the smelter and the brickyard actually is also a very good option, given that we have both bricks and pottery out of it. But I'm going to go for the smelter at the start. Another tricky one for us. So both the smokehouse and the provisioner are tempting. Let's go for the smokehouse, because maybe we can do better with the flour. Oh, darn it. So I would have preferred the herb garden, because that would allow us to build something necessary for... So again, that's going to be something that I use in my biscuits and my... Was it pies? Well, no, because the pies can use something else. Yeah, so the herb garden would give me my biscuits. But I have... Now, actually, the trapper's camp is also a tempting one. In fact, I'm going to go for this one because of its ability to access those large nodes. So that kind of pains me to do that, but... And welcome to the Council of Elders, 1-4. Okay, let's get those beavers to work. Oh, hang on, wrong group. And I think I might even put down a third... I think I might put down a third woodcutter's camp. What did you give me? Prayer to the Sacred Flame and the Queen herself workers get a 5% chance of doubling their production yield. Thank you. 1-4. Okay, new cornerstone. So urban root production is increased by +1 for every 75 biscuits produced. So that's very tempting. We've got Zorg's secret ingredient, a mysterious ingredient discovered by the famous chef and businessman Zorg. Gain 10 skewers for every 10 pickled goods produced. That's rather tempting because pickled goods satisfy both the beavers and the lizards. And then hidden reward, gain an ancient tablet for every 2 completed glade events. So both of these are tempting. I think I'm going to go for Zorg's secret ingredient, though. And we've got some orders. Okay, so cut through the forest and discover 2 glades. That's a pretty sensible one for us to start off with. 2 dangerous glade events, or to produce a geyser pump. I do like the bonus to copper ore production as well, so as nice as the new arrivals would be, I do like TikTok. And... I'm reluctant to go for Pack of Crops just because we're not going to be doing any other trading, so I'm going to make a guess here that we will be able to find an ancient tablet before too long. Okay, so now we want to start changing around the order a little bit. So we should have 1 person dedicated to building, but I don't see any roads being put down. Oh, that's right, because we've got the buildings being built. Okay, so first glade. Now we have the option of bringing in some bodies or sending it to the Citadel. I prefer sending it to the Citadel. This is going to be a minute while we don't work on anything. So Trapper's Camp makes sense, but we'll maybe just use the Trapper's Camp we already have. However, working the stone deposit has its own logic. We probably want to move this woodcutter's camp sooner rather than later. In fact, I should probably be painting the region that I want to clear out. I should be a little careful about that, but... just because I have other tasks that I'd like the people to work on. But yes, I need to remember that this stuff is for clearing out the ancient hearth as well. I was wondering, wait, why did I didn't have somebody assigned to everything? And I was like, that's right, because I wanted, if I give up somebody for 1 minute, that I'm able to bring in more workers right away. Okay, let's think. It's got the lizards working on the right stuff. Two regular workers right now. Okay, looking good. So I'm going to clear out the rest of the hearth space. Now, most importantly, we get to complete Lost in the Woods. So, here we have a small farm, which is not appealing. The herbalist camp is. Plantation maybe because of the berries, and a weaver is also tempting because of the fabric, but I think... Oh wait, no. large and giant resource nodes? No. So in this case, we are going to go for the weaver so we can get the fabric. Okay, now we don't have enough simple tools, so I can't work the abandoned cache yet. But I should be thinking on the next move. So for a start, I actually think I'm kind of okay with everybody just working to chop down the surrounding area, but I think this woodcutter's camp is going to be the next one to push forward. In fact, there may be a question here whether or not it makes all that much sense for me to clear out more of the smaller glades at this point. Because those could still be objectives for later on in the game, while the gains that I'm getting from them are pretty small. I'll stick with what I've got right now because the main focus is on sort of clearing out the hearth area anyway. Actually, yeah, you know what? We can simplify this a little bit. So if it looks like we're going to be breaking through before the storm starts, I'll reconsider. But for now, I'm content to work with what we've got. I'm just hoping we get the shelter built before the storm. Okay, don't entirely blame them for being mad about getting rained on. With that, because they're going to be getting me meat now. And we should have some new arrivals before too long. I don't think we need to worry about a lizard departure just because of the storm, but as the hostility of the forest goes up, this becomes a real worry at the end of the cycle. So the big thing for me to remember compared to previous runs is that I'm not going to have the option of a trader coming in and me buying up a whole bunch of tools. So for starters, what have we got here? I don't really need more beavers. I think probably more lizards make the most sense. Also, the reeds will help me out with The reeds will help me out with fabric when I get around to building it, so we'll accept these newcomers. We do have a small housing shortage, so we'll address that. And what's our next cornerstone? So gain 2 insects every time woodcutters cut down a tree during the storm. Rich glades, newly discovered resource nodes have more charges, +5 for small deposits, +20 for large. And cooking steam. If you leave rainwater for a while, it will begin to release a pleasant and warm vapor. Food production speed is increased by 10% for every 50 units of drizzle water stored. Very tempting. I think I'm going to go for rich glades, though. And I think everybody's already working on the stuff I want them to... No, that's not true. This group of woodcutters is not actually chopping down anything useful. I'm going to put them to work. This isn't the most exciting thing I can be doing for them, but it is clearing out the last of the region that that's covered by the hearth. Now, Stonecutters Camp. There's no hard argument one way or the other for this job. I'm gonna slightly adjust the characters, so we're gonna put the lizard on a heat specialization job. Alright, so our first dangerous glade. So there's a few things. Number one, we've got some more people if I need it. Another opportunity for us to grab some more Queen's Favor or Queen's Grace. But specifically, I want to work this ancient shrine, and we've got absolutely nothing. This sucks big time, because unless I can find some tools somehow, or if I can make something, like we need to come up with 20 fabric or 2 more tools in 7 minutes, or we're going to have 5 people die. A pack of provisions is also an option. So let's review what we've got available to us. It's probably going to have to be... So crude workstation can make planks, fabric, bricks, and pipes. Makeshift post can make a pack of provisions. Actually, that's interesting. So... I can't remember what a pack of provisions involves. I'd eat a lot. Okay, so... So that would be 36 if we went down that path. So we might be able to get enough eggs just by the end, but... Oh, hang on, but it would be, look, we'd be building 3 at a time. That's actually not a bad trade-off then. Highest possible priority for this for obvious reasons. And what jobs do we have? So we can make need for jerky or grain. So clearly the need for jerky is more in line with my goals. Now we can make brewery and ale, or human resolve and grain. Now, again, I don't expect a whole lot of grain, so I think in this case the brewery and the ale Now, whether or not we can actually achieve that is a whole other question. And at this point, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull 2 beavers and set them to work on the ancient shrine. So we've got 2 people making the packs of provisions now, which is how it should be. There's a lot of people standing around. I guess they're on a break. Okay, so we're gonna abandon that work. We'll reassign the beavers. So hopefully that saves us from our trouble. I think welcoming new people is not a bad idea here. We obviously need to wait for our scouts to finish. And then I think we immediately go into the next dangerous glade. It's a little bit of a worry in terms of how this is going to line up with the storm, but I'm feeling lucky. So a small worry about the herbalist camp because we don't have much use for it afterwards, but we'll just take the 2 humans and get them to do something else if it comes down to that. Trying to think what other goodies we get. So the full trappers camp was a good idea. That gives us a bunch of meat to work with. I suppose I can get the stormwater geyser going. I haven't made too much of a use. I haven't had too much use for it, but that doesn't mean I can't. Hang on. I feel like I might have done something wrong, but we'll figure it out. Okay, good news there. We'll wait for them to clear it out before I get somebody working on the large encampment. Actually, not true. So we're going to get 4 new people added, which means I need to build housing accordingly. And I don't think we have enough space. Well, maybe we do. Once this is done being chopped down, we'll have it. It would be a good time for me to reconsider the approach. So we'll take the stuff in sort of the surrounding area. I'm okay with that, but I don't think we're going to go for the dangerous glade until after the next storm. And I should find a worker to put towards this. Apparently I really am that foolish. This is good for the copper. Is actually not a bad item to work. Okay, it's easy to move the trapper's camp. We'll clear out the stuff that's in a easy to access place first. We've got lots of spare workers actually, so let's find something more useful for them to do. So I gotta be careful about working these things in the... So the herbalist camp currently doesn't have anything to work. Slightly better way of building that. Although it's still blocking everything else right now. Okay. Got a few things to do. I definitely like the extra humans. Firekeeper's armor allows firekeepers to combat corruption more efficiently. Every burned sister removes an additional 50 corruption, tempting. Metallurgic proficiency increases the production speed of copper bars, crystallized dew, and all recipes that use metal ingots by 33%. Probably I'm going for that one. And 5 pigment for every 10 insects. So yeah, we're going to do metallurgic proficiency. And more importantly, we are going to chop our way into the next dangerous glade. So industry is the real driver behind this one. All right, what are we up against here? So, hidden traitors cemetery. A cemetery full of traitors killed by desperate viceroys. What drove them to commit such heinous crimes? Was it out of greed or necessity? So, tit for tat, a quick cover-up of this crime will prevent any serious consequences. Otherwise, the Merchant Guild will retaliate. All goods are worth 50% less to traitors. Now, that's not a big factor. Kite, my good man. Now you know why I've been sneaking away from your stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. For those of you not familiar with my good man Kite, he's not my good man, he's a good man Kite. He is someone I've actually known almost as long as I've been on Twitch. But he is first of all, very nice and very very diverse streamer, I think. He'll do a little bit of everything. I've been having a great time watching him play Hi-Fi Rush recently, which is sort of a rhythm-based third-person action game. It would be very fair to compare stuff like that, or games like that, to Crypt of the Necrodancer. Obviously, I really like oh, fair enough. We must have got started around the same time, the more I think of it. But yeah, no, I'm a huge fan of Brace Yourself game stuff, obviously. But in the case of Hi-Fi Rush, it's because it's a 3D game, because it's quite action oriented, it's a lot of fun to watch Kite play it. Kite also is quite a talented musician, so that adds another fun dimension to his journeys through his journeys in rhythm-based games. But one of the things I like highlighting for Kite, and we haven't really had a chance to see this recently, but Kite has got a real gift for co-casts. I've never been very good at co-casts, but Kite really knows how to deliver them well, even if the person... So, like, I don't want to be... there's no way of me ever saying this without sounding really mean, but it's clear if you just watch Twitch, some people are more charismatic than others. Like, I wouldn't necessarily count myself as a particularly charismatic streamer. There may be other qualities that make me worth watching. But, there are definitely some people who have quote-unquote it than others. And what I've really noticed about Kite's ability to do co-casts is that even if somebody is not naturally talented towards broadcasting, and again, that is not a failure, I think if anything, we could stand to lessen the rating of streamers. Like, what I mean by that is, just because you don't... Like, there's lots of ways to participate on Twitch. In fact, I think most streamers are very, very happy that there are people who like watching Twitch and only want to watch Twitch, right? So the fact that somebody isn't a naturally talented broadcaster is not a slight on them and shouldn't be perceived that way. But what I've noticed Kite's really strong ability, and I'll be honest with you, I can't quite fully grasp how he pulls this off. But he has this real gift for being able to make whoever he's broadcasting with really shine. Like, he's got an ability not just to carry a broadcast on his own, but to do so in a way that makes it very enjoyable to sort of watch him broadcast with the co-caster, and basically makes the co-caster again, this sounds mean, but like, it makes the co-caster seem more talented than they are. So yeah, no, he's a very nice person, very good broadcaster, and somebody who I really like getting the chance to shout out. Now, I've held this off. I think this is probably going to be the first death that we run into, because I don't have... That's not entirely true. I do have a way of making planks. It's an inefficient way of making planks, but I should probably do it. So unless I can get planks, infused tools, or simple tools, I'm not going to be able to work the tile. So I've got 10 minutes. And the way I'm going to get myself out of this, the crude workstation is my best way of getting planks at the moment. So as much as I hate building the crude workstation, the time has come. Anyways, all that's a really long way of saying you all should watch him. Now, I guess you haven't seen me play Against the Storm before, have you, Kite? This is a roguelike city builder. Very, very interesting game, but one that I don't have a talent for. Okay, so we are looking for 17 more planks. Although, honestly, we should probably just get people cranking them out as much as we can. I want to be a little more careful on this one because there's the working effect. Some secrets are better left untold, get 40 hostility every 60 seconds. So that's only for while it's being worked. So essentially what we want to do here is we want to have people building as many planks as we can. Again, we're going to be waiting for this to happen. It would be nice if I had a faster way of getting planks, but I guess the other thing I could do would be to build a second crude workstation now that I think of it. That might be a good idea. Oh, nice. Okay. So you know exactly what I'm up against. I should note, because you've probably seen me do this the last couple of times I've run through it, I normally rely on traders to get me the stuff that I need. I don't have traders now. I'm sort of stuck. I'm stuck working with... I'm stuck working with whatever resources I have immediately available to me. Okay, we'll get you two working on planks. I need to make a decision too. Do I want to send to the Citadel? So one thing that would be nice is to keep the goods, which gives me, you know, bricks, tablets, crystallized dew. All of this is good stuff, and I can turn in the ancient relic. But if I can get an ancient relic through other means... let's move you up a little closer. Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to see this thing through. So no matter what happens, we want to make sure that we're working this as soon as we can. If I work it too early, though, then we start earning a bunch of hostility, which I don't want. We can move the Stonecutter's Cap to... Got lots of options, but I think we're going to move it over here. New orders. Okay, so need for religion or trade goods? I think let's try for the need for religion. Okay, so this is an obvious choice now. So we want to keep the goods so that I can get 2 points worth for the ancient. In fact, we'll get 3. The dangerous glade event, relics, and lost knowledge. Hello, Algrins. I need everything. I think you all can you can do what you want, and if I think if I feel like I need chat to push me over the edge, I'll make a special request. But I think it's kind of fun for you to sort it. sort it out. It is very good, Kite. It's actually one reason I really like doing it on Mondays, because I've been having a tough time of work, if I'm completely honest. And being able to play something with a very relaxing atmosphere like this, even though I'm sort of playing for my life, it is just very nice to sort of have this music playing along. Okay, so we've got another 10 planks on their way in. We currently have 19. I think that's close enough that we can start working the event. I'm hoping I haven't consigned my people to a terrible fate. We'll get one human working for the rest of the construction. Hey, Wonker. Thought I was rolling in Twitch money. Nah. One thing that is kind of funny, I don't like talking too much about it. Now, I'll be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure where the next job's going to be coming from, but one thing that has been nice this year is that I am actually starting to see a bit of an income from streaming activity that I'm doing, which is not necessarily this. Like, I'm very grateful that people sub to the channel and do the bits and things like that, but one of the unfortunate truths about the affiliate program for Twitch is that when I was donation based, people would tend to donate quite a bit more than the subscription amount. Which is nice, right? Like, that's kind of, in the end, if you're going to be a small broadcaster like me, in the end, what you kind of have to do is position yourself as a quote-unquote premium product that people, would hopefully be willing to spend a little bit more on. But of course, the thing here is that if it's purely donation-based, Twitch doesn't see any money from that. And that's one of the reasons why they introduced something like the affiliate program. And so the consequence of affiliate was, it was nice to get the transcodes, and it was nice to get, the sub button and things like that. But the consequence was that my revenue from streaming went down by something like 70% or so. And again, I don't, this is a hobby, right? So I don't do this I don't sit down with a profit and loss statement to work out, just how much money I'm going to make, doing this thing. But it is fair to say that, what my original, not expectations, but what kind of my original returns were from working on Twitch are very different from what they are now. And one of the nice things has been, with developers approaching me to do things for their Steam page, for instance, I've actually had an opportunity to sort of make up some of the losses that I do through streaming. Because, you pay for a better internet connection and so on and so forth. And again, all of these things I'm very happy to pay for. It's not a woe is me, if only you all would send me hundreds of thousands of dollars. But one of the nice unexpected benefits that I've gotten has been the fact that there have been people approaching me to cover their game on something like a Steam page, or just generally to try and get the word out about things. And that's been bringing in a little bit of money. I'm actually ahead of where I thought I would be in terms of paying off this laptop that I got so that I could do some more broadcasting things, which is great, right? Who doesn't want an opportunity to do, to make more stuff for people to enjoy. But yeah, it's a very funny situation to be in now, which is that I was not expecting to be in this point. But now I'm actually trying to think where the next dollar of streaming stuff comes from. Yeah, thank you, Kite. I mean, you've had your delightful spies kind of come in and get a chance to get the early previews about what's going on. So it's always been nice to show the results of a lot of that work. But yeah, it's an awkward one to talk about, right? Because I never want it to see, man, we just got by with the skin of our teeth on that. Um, you know, I never want the focus to be too much on like, oh yeah, I gotta make a certain dollar amount, otherwise it's not worth it for me to keep streaming. Like, there's other stuff that I can do, but obviously, you know, buying a fairly expensive piece of hardware to try and do things that are related to broadcasting, if possible, it's nice to try and figure out how that thing is going to, for lack of a better term, like pay for itself. I don't think we're going to be able to recover the beavers, like even with lighter treatment. Yeah, that's not. So we're going to lose some people. Oh, thank you, Kite. I mean, oh, this was really foolish. There was absolutely no reason for me to inflict that much misery on the. Oh, so many people leaving. All right, back to work, everyone. So we still need to recover the items, but we're good there. I don't think I'm ready to give up the tools quite yet. Oh yeah, there is, what was it? Was it Timberborn was the other city builder? Left town or died. There's definitely some events that make it quite clear that the fate that befalls them is not as nice. So actually a good example of this would be bone tools. So gain 2 infused tools every time a villager leaves or dies. So if we're getting new bone tools every time a villager leaves, I think it's pretty clear what happens. Okay, where were we? Calming the forest. Every 2 newly completed dangerous or forbidden glade events lowers hostility by 50. That's a pretty tempting one, to be honest. Or baptism by fire. Every 3 burnt blight rot cysts lowers hostility by 10. While the hearth is corrupted, you're unable to sacrifice resources. I think I'm gonna go for calming the forest. Now we've really been in trouble each time we've done a forbidden glade. We're always just getting by this with skin of our teeth. I think what we're going to do is we're going to wait till this thing's cleared out, and then I'm also going to work out a different batch of sort of woodcutter camp placement to see if we can maybe... Oh, we also have people who are unsheltered. So maybe what I can do... I kind of already have a smelter, so being able to salvage it for the parts would be nice. Or do I? Yes, I do. I need bricks for it, but... Speaking of... maybe we do that now. And we don't use clay for that, we use stone. Nope, apparently that's a known bug, so don't worry too much about it, Algrins, but I'm sorry, it probably makes life a little difficult for you to do what you want. This smelter's actually kind of a pain to get in place. I think we'll have to live with that. And if we're doing that, so we'll take another 4 bricks. Okay, so I'll get a couple humans working on brick production. What else do I want to have happen? So everybody's got a job right now. Well, for at least the places where I want people working. Right, so what's the next job we want? Okay, so I've got to kill... A lumber mill's pretty much a must-have. Even though there's one for... So, like, there's Happy Brewing. Oh, man, this is such a tough one. Okay, see, I wouldn't normally do this, but Happy Brewing is actually one of my objectives, so... And I do have the ability to make planks. Like, I have alternative ways of making planks, so... You know, we don't need to do that because I can build a weaver. It's also with planks. Nope, that's a terrible spot for it. I'm trying to make it so that like all my housing can go in. Oh yeah, here's an obvious place for the weaver. What am I doing? Okay, so seems like we go to our next Forbidden Glade, so I'm gonna clear all this out. Vanguard Master, why are you doing this to me? I'm already, this is already a very difficult one. Actually, that was particularly poor timing for me, but oh dear. So I can give up a whole lot of my coal. How much time do I have? 10 minutes. So that's on me for not building this sooner. Okay, so, for purging fire, I think this is the best we can hope for. I should be able to turn in, yeah, 2 of these. Okay, rain mill to produce flour. That's pretty much a must, although I also want the bakery. Let's do the rain mill for starters. So the clothier gives me coats, which will satisfy 2 of my groups. Or there's the lumber mill, which will allow me to produce planks. Mind you, I can produce planks through other means. I'm going to re-roll. This is very good. So I can build simple tools with this. But again, this is the highest priority right now. No worries, Kite. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to chat. Oh, fair enough, Vanguard Master. So this is a slightly different scenario for me in the sense that we are basically we don't have access to traders. So basically everything you see here. Oh, by the way, if you can improve global resolve, that is the one I want the most right now. If you're also inclined. But yeah, so basically I'm not able to gain any like tools or any of that other stuff from my my normal activities, or from the trading activities. I have to build everything. Oh god, there's so much to do. Okay, let's clear out the beaver group. 7 minutes. So as soon as we have 4 purging fire, then we can work the corrupted caravan. Oh my god, this is gonna be so bad. When the storm comes, this is gonna eat me alive. It's also weird to have so many. It's weird to have so many jobs available for people. So we'll wait till this one's finished, and then we're gonna put the lizard to work. Okay, so we can send it to the Queen's Grace. I think I'm gonna... So it's nice to get all of these items, particularly the pickled goods, given that those make my lizards and beavers happy. But I think we're gonna go for the straight Queen's Grace on that. Okay, we're short on fabric. So for that... Hang on. Yeah, we don't have any specialists for that. Oh my god, what did I do? That was not intended. Okay, fortunately, we just need more purging fire. We can survive that, but holy crap, that was very close to a disaster. Okay, a kiln and coal, or have at least 2 hearths upgraded to neighborhood. I've never done this before, but this seems like something that I can pull off. Hey, Dendrian, good to see you. So the thing that's going to suck is the fact that this is going to happen during the storm, but we should still be able to get past this challenge. I think we'll send it to the Citadel after all is said and done. So Dendrian, you'll be pleased to know, or maybe not pleased to know, but you'll just to give you some context for the mess I found myself in. This one, I don't have access to any traders, so my usual routine of like buying up as many tools as I can to get Queen's favor from working the different caches, that's not really open to me anymore. But what I have been relying on is to make nice with the lizards from some resources that we picked up, and then I'm basically trying to slowly crash land this thing. Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is one of the things that I like the most about games like this, is the chance to kind of push myself outside of a comfort zone and see whether or not I can. Okay, we've got enough for. I gotta sacrifice a couple of jobs, but that's fine. That's true, I did have the chance to get the bone tools, but... Okay, now it would seem to me like my... the Inquisition should already be working on the Blight Rot Cyst, so we're gonna leave that be. Okay, so need for religion fulfilled. Now, I honestly don't know... Oh wait, no, it's a ticking collection. So I suppose the question here is, with the monastery, I can get religion and leisure, which would satisfy. Actually, hang on. So leisure. Yeah, so that satisfies both the beavers and the humans, although oddly enough the lizards are my best bet for contentment. Although I feel like there's a clan hall in one of these regions. No, it was Forester Hut and... Okay, apparently I'm losing my mind. So the carpenter... Okay, so we can get training gear from the weaver. So the more I look at this, the more it really does feel like the clan hall is the better of the two. So be it. Okay, let's clear out the mine just so people can stop getting spooked. We'll let everybody be equally miserable. So I expect we'll be getting a lot of tools out of this. which is not the worst that could happen. But we are going to have to see what's left while we're waiting for comforts. That cyst really puts the room together. Maybe bump that total up a little bit. Okay, so turns out this farm is kind of useful to me, given that we'll now be able to produce... I don't know if we have a Cooper. But yeah, so now that I actually have a way of producing grain, that works out a little bit better than what I was originally expecting. Moving on, what are you all giving me? Oh, production yields, huh? Nice. Where was I? All right. Okay, so well-rested workers, just the right amount. Villagers with the leisure need fulfilled have a 20% chance of doubling their yields. Now, of course, we went for the clan hall instead, so that's not available to us. Receive 3 pack of provisions for every new villager, or brewery production's 50% quicker. I think we're going to use the reroll on this. So, clay per minute, leather production, or Jesus. I'll go for the clay delivery line then. Now, we could probably use with more lizards, although it's not clear. I guess this is slightly better because of the grain it gets me. I also think I'm at the point here I should really be building some more specialized housing. So, I think we'll not stand on ceremony. Okay, we aren't. We'll just remove the limit. I'll stick with that for now. Okay, so I've got 9 lizards, 16 beavers, and 6 humans. So I guess humans make the most sense to build first. Kind of like to I'd like to demolish while I go. I don't think I'm going to have that option available to me, but we'll see. We'll see if we can make it work. Now, it seems to me like it's really good to get people working the carpenter. So first of all, we can finally get, not exactly, but we can cancel the planks in favor of slightly more efficient ones. So we're already working copper bars. So now we can start making more of these simple tools, which means we should be able to... Speaking of, we had a couple departures, so what was that? Oh, right, we didn't take bone tools, so that doesn't count for anything. But yeah, so what I'm thinking here is we're basically sitting on a bunch of improvement, or a bunch of Queen's Grace that we can get. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sites that we can get some Queen's Grace from. I can't build any farms. I gotta figure out the order in which I want to do some of this stuff. But yeah, it's fair to say the simple tools are a pretty high priority now. Okay, let's do a review of... So we've got 2 idle workers right now. I feel like we could put someone to work in the herb. Is it really the herbalist camp? Surely we can do better than that. Well, I guess it doesn't hurt to have the mushrooms. I also just want to do an audit of sort of like what I have available to me in terms of buildings that I haven't built yet. Like, so obviously there's a bunch of different places that I haven't unlocked. I guess it doesn't hurt for me to finish off the withered tree before I go too much further. Forbidden Glade may be a good option. Just to really go after something tough. Okay. Let's think this through. What am I trying to get done? First of all, okay, cookhouse is very tempting. Smithy would have been kind of nice because I could make coats out of that, but Artisan is also tempting here because it allows me to build coats and barrels, so barrels will eventually lead to pickled goods, which will allow me to give people complex food. So I think the Artisan is probably where I want to go, but let's just double check, because I've got a bunch of different buildings now, which I haven't been following up on. So we've got the brewery, the smelter, the rain mill. Rain mill, I guess, was a little bit of a waste now that we've got some other things going on. Gonna get back to lurking. Anything in particular you need from you? You can do whatever you want, Vanguard Master. I don't think people need to like make me happy, right? Definitely, if people join the Forest Guardians, I'm gonna feel a little hard done by just because I'm already struggling on this particular map. But I feel like people, like, if I'm gonna enable Twitch integration, it shouldn't be to order people to do what they want. I feel like they should be doing the Twitch integration because it makes things fun for them. But thank you for asking. Okay, so let me think this through. So we don't really have any food-based buildings, it seems. Not entirely true. We've got a smokehouse, which I don't think I've been working. Okay, so a smokehouse will give me the jerky for the lizards and the humans. That's particularly good given that the lizards are my most likely source of resolve. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any bad options in the town slots. Yeah, do what your heart tells you, Vanguard Master. I'm assuming you're moving to work on your up-and-coming title, so good luck on that. Okay, well let's at least get started with the smokehouse. That seems to be an obvious step, especially because this stuff's not going to get built until quite a bit later anyway. I guess there's no more efficient way from... Well, I can stick it here. There we go. All right, best of luck. Hurry it up. I gotta play this thing. I'm pretty sure you have every incentive to get this thing done as quickly as possible. Okay, sorry. Still need to... So we've got jerky in the bag. Skewers and biscuits. Skewers are good for lizards. Coats and barrels are good for... Well, surely if it's coats and barrels, that down the road helps the lizards. Okay, I'm going to go for an artisan. It may not be the right call, but... Okay, so we're building copper bars, so that makes sense in the smelter because that's feeding the production of simple tools, which are going to allow me to work on the abandoned caches. I should probably be throwing more bodies into the mine right now. How much do we have in terms of copper? We've got lots of copper bars, actually, so a shortage of copper probably isn't the worst thing for me to deal with right now. Okay, we're working on getting better food. Definitely fair to say that my my woodcutters' camps are a little idle. At some point, I do want to build that other hearth, I guess. So somewhere like here, maybe? Trying to think what's kind of the most open and friendly place to... Actually, yeah, okay, that gives me something to do. So we'll start by moving... Well, I guess it makes a little more sense to move this one. Except that it doesn't have anybody working in it right now. Okay, so this is going to be where the new hearth goes eventually. Yes, we were waiting for the battle with the withered tree to be sorted, which means we can afford to lose... There we go. It's a start. Obviously, there's a lot more that I need to get done. Okay, I'm trying to get a little bit of a read on this corruption story. So I know essentially it's all of, or I thought it was. I basically thought it was all the work that I was doing in the crude workstation that was producing the corruption. Well, let's open the encyclopedia entry on that. Blight rot is a dangerous parasite that can infect buildings in your settlements. The most common source of blight rot is rain punk technology, a side effect of using rain engines in your production buildings. You can read more about rain punk. You can read more in the rain punk entry of the encyclopedia. However, you may also encounter blight rot in the wild. In glade events or forest mysteries, blight rot accumulates gradually over time. When it reaches a certain threshold, blight rot cysts will appear on buildings. Each building can have a maximum of 3 blight rot cysts. Once the limit has been reached, blight rot will start spreading to nearby buildings. At first, blight rot cysts remain dormant, but during the storm season, they awaken and begin corrupting the ancient hearth, indicated by a progress bar above the hearth in the hearth's UI when selected. Once the progress bar reaches the end, a negative effect will trigger, killing a number of your villagers. The more active blight rot cysts there are, the faster the corruption progresses. To combat the spread of blight rot, you need to build a blight post and create a resource called Purging Fire. Blight rot cysts are invulnerable for most of the year, but during storm season they open and become vulnerable. When this is when blight fighters can go around the settlement and burn them down. Removing a cyst will not only slow down the corruption process, but will remove some of the accumulated corruption from the hearth. Yep, so everything is working the way that I want it to. I'm assuming maybe it's just because of the working effect here, but it's also worth noting that we are now able to hit our next target. Okay, mine is no available ore. I'm not entirely sure I believe that, but and looks like we can't move it, so we'll demolish it. Yeah, I'm calling BS on this. So again, I want to be working on the dangerous glades, as those seem to be good opportunities for me to get some to get some more Queen's favor. Again, once we get the tool production up, I feel like we're going to be in a good spot there as well. Yeah, honestly, where we're at right now, I think let's just I think I'll just let the production happen in the order it's supposed to. I may want to hold back on the priority. So like right now, we're just making simple tools forever. So maybe let's put a number to this. 12, 20, 36, 52... So 68, which is a lot. I may want to do it in batches, but... Now, in terms of idle jobs, so one thing I think we can do, we will rebuild this small farm. And the Forester's Hunt, I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure what I want out of that. I think this one I will dismantle. So Artisan's going to be my source of barrels, so we can't have anybody working the brewery quite yet. And right, we're falling behind because this place isn't producing planks anymore, so we're going to evenly divide the work, because otherwise just stuff's not going to happen. How many bricks do we have? 21? I think it's fair to say we've produced enough bricks for now. Okay, herbalist camp, what's happening here? Looks like we don't have anything to pick up right now, so that's 2 more free units. This tells me that I should be building more buildings right now. Okay, no one in the building is working. Unassign idle workers or change recipes. Ah, it's because we don't have the copper. I get it now. That's what that was saying. So it was a complete mistake for me to abandon this mine. What have we got here? Okay, so I can give up coal, I can give up tools, I can give up planks. So for wood, I've got tons of that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to crank out the planks for a while, kind of counter to what was happening with the tools before. But while we do this, see, this one's tempting. I think I am going to keep the goods on this one because with the ale, that's actually going to be sufficient to complete the mission. Yeah, okay. So this one I'm going to keep the goods. Let's actually maybe see if there's a slightly better way for me to... So this is definitely one we're sending to the Citadel. Yeah, okay. I'm getting a rough idea. This one's kind of tempting because of the copper ore, but again, I want to go directly where I can. I want to directly move the needle on reputation. Okay, so the carpenter is going to focus on planks. We've got enough copper bars to be building tools for a while. This large abandoned cache is the one that I want to be worked first. I'm going to tuck this woodcutter's camp off to the side here. And that's in prep for building another small hearth. This is really the only place I can build it. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, I gotta find wildfire essence. I probably just screwed myself doing that, actually. Unless I have any bright ideas about where I'm gonna get wildfire essence from. We'll figure it out as time goes by. But yeah, right now the key is going to be, in fact, we got a couple of jobs right now which are expecting wood. And I want to make sure that they're not, I don't want them eating into the planks budget. So yeah, the hostility is going to eat us alive before too long, but we're going to have a tough night ahead of us, but in the next little while, I think we can we can pull this ahead. Have 18 lizards for 30 seconds, or... God, this is going to be a really tough one, but serving the people is definitely the more likely of the two. 22 humans, almost certainly not getting that, so stormwater and clearance water I have... Oh man, this will unlock everything. Okay, so we're gonna have to work play with the rain punk stuff for a bit. Okay, we're gonna just, like... We're gonna let the night happen the way it's gonna happen. It's gonna be hair-raising. But what I'm most interested in right now is our plank supply. Or potentially, we might even use sea marrow if that becomes available. That's a lot to give up for sea marrow, to be honest. Or giving up the sea marrow seems like a very expensive way of solving that, but... Okay, I feel like we can put people to work in the smokehouse. Stand on ceremony. So I should be working on some better housing in a little bit too. Okay. I'm going to do lighter treatment on the lizards because that'll push me up in terms of resolve. We've already done rich glades. Family gratitude, relatives of your villagers send gifts for treating their family members well. Get 40 water skins for every full reputation point obtained through high resolve. Doesn't sound like it's retroactive though. Minus 40 to hostility for every hearth upgraded to level neighborhood. So why am I not getting... Oh, this is the higher level. All right, that does change things. I'm gonna try safe haven. Okay, so what are we gonna try and do to kind of get ourselves? Because there's definitely a path forward. So essentially what we want to do here is we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points in terms of objectives. Now, it seems to me as long as we can get 35 ale full stop, we've got one of those in the bag. Furthermore, need for religion. As long as we have the incense, I believe we'll be able to achieve that. But let's maybe put that under doubtful. Now, if we achieve infused rainwater, we get wildfire essence, which means we'll be able to get advanced district. So I should start investing in my ability to generate stormwater and clearance water. And then finally, serving the people should just be a natural, kind of just a natural result of my, like the other activities I'm going to be doing. But one thing I can do here is build the stormwater, or the geyser pump for the stormwater geyser. I think I messed up the entrance there, so we'll do the long way around because I don't think I'm going to have a camp, a woodcutter's camp available to clear that out anytime soon. Okay, so that's the stormwater at least started. I don't know how much it stores, to be honest, but we'll maybe worry about that later. Now, if I'm lucky, we have another geyser And I don't need to think about this anymore. No such luck. So maybe what we'll do is we'll head to the dangerous glades afterwards. But as always, we want to think about what our, like, basically what are we doing? Like, are people assigned to jobs that make sense? I definitely think more lizards makes the most sense right now. Put them to work in warm places. Now, hopefully our carpenter's been doing its job. Okay, we're at 10 of 20. So the thing to remember is I don't want to jump the gun on the rain spirit totem. In fact, one thing I'm going to do here, it's not my favorite choice, but I'm going to get a couple beavers working on the planks here as well. Oh wow, I was not expecting this hearth to be up and running. Okay, cool. That gives me a few things to worry about, but let's start. I think I'm going to start by oh my god, why did I even think this was a good idea? I just killed 6 of my planks for no reason. Why are we now at 0 out of 20? Okay, so the tank will only keep 50. Although it can be upgraded. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that be for now. Okay, I really need to figure out what's going on with the planks. It's tempting at this point to... Yeah, okay. This pains me that I'm doing this, but we're going to give up the tools. And what we're going to do here, we're going to even out planks and simple tools. Okay, moving on. We don't have anybody on construction now, which is a small worry, so let's sacrifice 1 beaver for now. This is a stormwater geyser, so in this case I don't need to worry. What I'm going to do instead is we'll build another geyser pump here. That'll give us our 100 storage for... Ah, wonderful. I think we're a little short on ale, but we should get what we need before too long. What's my next step? Housing, I think. So, for lizards, currently I've got 2 that are completely without shelter. So 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, human houses. We've room for 6 now, but we've got 7 humans, so we'll put another one down here. And then the remaining amount, of course, would be for beavers. Okay, for the mine. Where I can, I want to prioritize beavers, so what we'll do is we'll go back to reducing the woodcutter groups until we have clearer tasks. Okay, artisan. Yeah, we can have one working that. And we're out of insects for jerky, but we can put meat in. Incense, though, we're totally out. Now that is fascinating. So all that effort and we really didn't get... Okay. That's a shame, but... So, I guess my question would have been, how would I have known that... Like, obviously I built something on it before, but it's like, how would I have known that this is... that there's no available resources? Because it seems to me like this doesn't really indicate that it's tapped. That's fine, because we have other sources for ore. This one seems slightly better. Obviously, this ties up my workers longer than I'd like, but... Yeah, moving on, we can put 1 beaver towards rebuilding the small farm. Let's go for Happy Brewing right away. Got somebody already working on the large abandoned cache. We're going to want to send a few more of those to the Citadel when we can. Let's change that around. So 2 beavers to work here. We'll get them to produce copper bars. So I don't actually think we need to have anybody staffing the geyser pump as long as we've got the total that we needed. But we do need to be building pipes. And apparently we are out of copper bars. Okay, so things just got a little bit more dicey because we were really counting on being able to have a big stream of tools. But I'm not quite ready to give up on... our plan here. Okay, let's focus on getting this into a neighborhood. So we need 4 cosmetics. And 4 decorations. Easy peasy. Now, this is equally important. So I need to be a little more thoughtful in terms of where I put population to be able to upgrade this to a neighborhood. Now that's fine because we have a chance to move and build a whole bunch of other housing, but my beavers are going to wind up in this small hearth instead. Okay, moving along. So I have the option of building a small farm. I don't really think that's what I need right now. So skewers, biscuits, and pigments. Let me just make sure that I don't already have the ability to... Okay, So the fact that I need to fulfill the need for skewers pretty much makes that a must-have at this point. So we'll go for the cookhouse. Oops. It's starting to look up a little bit. We're not fully out of the woods yet, but the fact we've got some ticking resolve helps quite a bit. Also seems to me like we finished this objective, so I should be moving on to another Forbidden Glade at this point. I think we'll just make it a race. So this is a slightly higher priority item. Basically, if I don't have access to copper ore, then I can't do anything else. This one, I think we're going to move them pretty deep in, but we're only going to unlock the fairly innocuous stuff. So I've got 10 simple tools right now. I'm going to leave that be. I want to see how much of that I can get before I go too far. Now, whether or not we have the people available for the farming is an interesting question. Amazing. Okay, I'm gonna favor these guys as long as I can. Basically, we're gonna see how long we can get the ticking resolve work before we have to give it up. But right now, we'll just let the madness happen. And I've got 16 beavers, so. So yeah, the aim. Okay, so now we give up the lighter treatment. This is basically acknowledging that we're not going to be able to push this ahead. But again, we've got the ticking resolve that we wanted. I'm going to get one more building by the end of all of this, but I do have some specific things that I'm trying to. Put two of you on farming duties. We're going to ditch the mine for now, although I am going to move the beavers out. Basically, once the... I could have saved that beaver, unfortunately. I wasn't thinking. Oh yeah, we don't need him working the crude workstation, so... Yeah. Okay. Bring these folks in. Crowded caravan. Each newcomer group has 2 additional villagers. Brewery production's 50% quicker. Or generous gifts. Wealthy settlements attract wealthy settlers. Newcomers bring 40% more goods with them for every hearth level gain. Let's go for extra villagers. So we do need more lizard space. I guess I don't have any buildings I can demolish quite yet. Looks like we're just shy of where we need to go. That's probably because of the homelessness. Okay, what am I trying to accomplish right now? I could try and do another mine. Oh, sorry, first of all. Okay, we're already working the copper ore, so that's good. What else am I trying to accomplish? I don't necessarily think it would hurt to have... Okay, where have I got humans working that doesn't necessarily require... Okay, so we'll put a couple beavers on the stonecutters camp now. So humans can brew and produce pickled goods. I guess I don't need the ale, so we'll hold off on that. Skewers are the real goal here. Well, you know what, they can use both. I think vegetables are what we want then. Yeah, so I guess we don't really need the... I guess, yeah, this is the funny thing. I guess we don't really need grain anymore because I've already satisfied the brewing requirement. So we do actually want vegetables. Okay. Things are starting to take shape. So why did I think I wasn't able to... Or, yeah, obviously I need bricks still. Sorry, I'm just trying to reason through my next steps. Okay, so the skewers are going to be satisfied with the cookhouse. Now, I probably shouldn't rely on a geyser, so perhaps it would be better for me to put down a rain collector. But I don't have the tools required for that yet. So maybe we do need to wait for a geyser. Or alternatively, I can try and upgrade this thing. So how much wildfire essence do I have and do I need? So I've got 6 wildfire essence. I think it's a reasonable guess that we'll have what it takes. Yeah. So that's going to get us the infused rainwater objective. I feel like I can demolish at least... Well, okay, there's no benefit to me demolishing this stuff right now, so I'm just going to hold off. I can put down the decorations, though. Charming barrels. But again, what we're really relying on right now is the ticking satisfaction for the lizards. Now, we probably overproduced on pipes now that I think of it. I don't know if that winds up showing up in my warehouse or what. Nope, actually, apparently we don't have any pipe. I'm totally satisfied with that, though, because we have exactly what we need. Now, tools-wise, we're at 16, so we should assign a couple brave souls to the job. Okay, we will no longer favor the lizards because they've grown a little too accustomed to finery. Right, now I do need a source of flour if I'm going to be... Did I actually go for a mill at any point? Rain mill, I did. But in practical terms, we really just need to worry about three and some change in terms of... God. Okay, let's worry about those vegetables first. In fact, at this point, I should probably be... pulling some people from different jobs. Yeah, so take 2 of the lizards for... I just need more people on construction duty right now. I think this is fine because the tools are going to be something that helps me win. I'll maybe pull back on one of the beavers. Yeah, right now we're going to focus on building, I think. And it seems like the herbalist camp still doesn't have anything to do. So I'm hoping this is going to translate into a little bit more production. And we should be able to deliver the infused rainwater. So again, I was expecting that I would need the wildfire essence, which we don't, but I'm happy enough with that result. So this is the last building that I can get. It's also worth remembering here that like I don't need any of the amber that I have, so if I want, like, I can keep re-rolling until I find something that I really need. So I guess let's think a little bit about what we need. So under these conditions, need for religion, we've got that with the clan hall. In fact, I should probably just put that, I should get that building down so then we can, you know, we can work with it. So that's good for brawling and religion. Tavern is good for leisure and brawling, but I don't believe we need to satisfy leisure now. So that's a nice to have, but that's not a requirement. I'm trying to think of things that we want to build, but we don't really have access to. It'd be fair to say that we're short on copper. We got a few different sources that we can draw from. But yeah, like when I look at like monetary market, temple and press, everything that those can give me, we've got. So we'll do a starting reroll for that. The ranch is kind of tempting here, I suppose. I think for now we're just gonna hold off on that, because like I don't actually need to buy any of these. Oh, and we've got a new task. I think we will use the oil in this case. Okay, I'd rather be doing this at another time, but when your villagers' needs are met, harmony is fostered, each unique service building adds 2 to global resolve. Tempting, but we're just gonna salvage that, and we can go for lighter treatment to try and push people up. It's not gonna last that long, but let's take advantage of the ticking resolve while we can. So this is gonna really annoy people. Chop that off for now. But yeah, at this point, honestly, I think we just need more people building things. We'll get a few extras once we clear out the mine. We pretty much have this now. So we're gonna give this some time. I wanted to try and take advantage of the ticking time a little bit more, but okay, good. We're producing vegetables here. This is good because that's going to mean that we can start working on the skewers. I don't know if I'm going to be able to play favorites with the beavers in time. So what I really need to think about is which of these can I deliver. It's honestly the skewers. But I gotta find another source of vegetables. If it's gonna come to that. Well, we've got 9. So now we can throw eggs in it, roots. Yeah, there's definitely a few things we can do here. We'll see. We may even get by without losing a villager. But yeah, what our aim here should be is to build some more jerky. And this is slightly alarming to see how much wood we've consumed, so I probably can't afford to have this many beavers dedicated to things that are not chopping wood. I didn't really think about that. So, okay, we get both. I'm gonna take the vegetables because those are good for Ah. We are completely out of the things we need to produce fabric. That explains a lot. Uh, 30 meat every time a villager dies or leaves. Let's not do that. Let's just do crowded caravan again. Okay. Let's think about... Okay, first of all, let's get the wood taken care of. We still need to wait for the Harmony Spirit Altar to be taken care of. Sorry, there should be a better way of doing this. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so I need... Hang on. I should already be on my way to making the lizard houses. So yeah, I guess the question is, does this bring me any closer to the things that I need? And the answer is no, we actually need to be chopping down trees for that. So, first things first, let's chop our way through to the scary part of the woods. Let's get you to clear out what you can. Right, and now I want... Okay, and... Yeah, so as soon as we get the wood, we're actually in pretty good shape. Now, unfortunately, we don't have the tools that we need, but that is hopefully on its way through the carpenter. Man, we really fall apart if we don't have... wood. Okay, completely fair. Like I said, that was my oversight in terms of not keeping my woodcutters' camps busy. It may wind up being a moot point. I'm kind of hoping it is, actually, but the clan hall is a little bit of a priority now, though. And that's just because if I can fulfill the need for religion, that makes life a little easier for me. We're also one away from fulfilling the need for skewers, which should end the mission for me anyway. Oh, we need 0.09. And my lizards are too content. So we'll see what happens as the what am I trying to say? Well, first of all, we're letting all the construction get built, or get finished. We'll see where we sit after that. Hang on, this is an encampment, not a neighborhood. Right, because I didn't put the remaining... Oh, for crying out loud. It's in the wrong spot. Okay. Okay, now we have one neighborhood. Keeping a careful eye on whether or not I can angle these things in my favor. Okay, this is probably going to hurt us when... Villagers have heard rumors of dangerous fugitives in the area. They are worried that the desperate criminals might attack them. -7 to global resolve. Interesting. So basically we just get a big hit to resolve while this gets worked on, but this lets us win. So 330, I can live with that. Especially because the storm comes in about 10 seconds. Also gives us something... Oh, wait, nope, the herbalist camp doesn't take wheat. Kind of overkill at this point, but I don't think it hurts to have a backup just in case. And somehow we're out of stormwater. I wonder what got used for that. I'll not complain. I mean, at this point, we're really just going through the motions until this mission's done. In a pinch, we get to dedicate all these resources. If I wanted, I could also demolish the shelters. That gets us some wood back. I think it gets us some wood back at least. Let's make it look a little nicer. It's a little disappointing we weren't able to get the clan hall up. I kind of thought we were going to win by fulfilling the need for religion. We just need one of these beaver houses and then the decorations to get built to make this a level 2 neighborhood. So, like, barring a complete... Like, so if we didn't get this unlocked, like, basically it would take a complete disaster for us to... yeah, to completely fall apart. But I'm reasonably happy. I mean, again, it's the same story as I always keep saying. Like, it always feels like it's hopeless partway through, and then one way or another, the stuff gets worked out. I don't know if I really quite got the focus on the production lines that I wanted. I mean, obviously, I kind of assumed that wood just came out of nowhere. So that sort of burned me in the end. At the very least, just sort of being forced to think about where my stuff was coming from made me a little more conscious of my moves forward. I think probably overall I should be expecting a bit more reputation from the ticking resolve than I actually get. But I'm not unhappy with how this turned out, let's say. Now, I was rather expecting this to be done before the storm. My god, a lot of you are giving me extra resolve. Thank you for that. Settlement complete. The village's position has been secured. You can now choose to leave or continue to play on this map. But any additional deeds won't be completed, and you will not earn any more experience or Citadel resources. So 150 for the win, 420 for reputation, 240 for impatience left, 60 for orders completed, 18 for regular events completed, 105 for the 7 dangerous events. Kind soul, so nobody died. 20-minute adventure, 15 points. Town, what is town? With at least 40 villagers, and entrepreneur finished with 50 amber. Easy to do when you don't have anybody to trade with. So we gain prosperity, collect 10 reputation points through villager resolve. Oh, interesting. I didn't think it was that high. And bandit camp, win a game near the bandit camp modifier. More importantly, as we talked about at the end of the previous run, we gave up a little bit in terms of the food stockpile in order to gain a lot of many artifacts and machinery. It's too early to finish the cycle. Viceroys are obligated to finish settlements until the Blight Storm is almost upon them. So I suspect, given the pace at which we've been building, we've got at least one more settlement in us. We'll definitely not be able to see. We won't be able to see any of the other sort of question marks. The real question is going to be, so I can get 63 from pretty much anywhere, right? So the question is, do I go for the woodlands, the coral forest, Scarlet Orchard? Some of these are easier than others, if I recall correctly. But of course, our main focus, given the fact that I would have 9 minutes to complete the mission, we'll call it here, but we will at least make the most of the time and see what we got and do our upgrades. So collect 10 reputation points through Villager Resolve, 50 experience, Bandit Camp gets me another 50. So new set of upgrades, Tool Shop, wow, that's a lot. Can produce simple tools, pipes, and barrels, uses stormwater. Brick Oven produces pie, and then a little bit of coal and incense. Sorry, when I say a little bit, if it's not clear, I should probably be clear on this because I don't think I've ever said it out loud. The stars that you see beside the different commodities are the efficiency with which it produces it. So if you notice the crude workstation, there's something like, I don't know, 8 wood to produce 2 planks or something like that. And basically the higher the number of stars that you see, the lower the ratio in terms of what you put in to what you get out. And in normal circumstances, so like if you think like a game, if you think of a game like Stellaris, for the most part, it's really clear with what building you choose. Like you say, okay, this is my alloy planet, and I'm going to use this thing to put my species that have an alloy specialty. I'm going to get them to work on that, and I'm going to fill it not just with alloy producing buildings, but I'm going to, I'm also going to make sure that there is that multiplier building that makes the alloys even more efficient, right? Like it's one of these things where you want to put as much specialization as you can in, because generally that's how these games work, and it reflects the fact that generally, at least when it comes to manufacturing, we've tended to see a benefit in terms of specialization. I will say, for those of you that would like the other half to that equation, there is a wonderful book, and I can't remember the name of the author, but I will look it up. David Epstein, Range, Why Generals Triumph in a Specialized World. You can sort of see it as like the antidote to the 10,000 hours type of thinking. It's not that paper is wrong, it's that paper focuses on a very narrow set of behaviors, and that it actually turns out that generalization applies much more broadly, much more generally, if you will say. And it can actually be something that, like, so to me, I'm actually really glad that I read it at the time that I did. It was recommended by a friend, a game developer friend, who really seems to have a knack for picking just the right book. But I was particularly happy that I read it now, because of course we're very worried, well, at least some people are very worried about the advent of AI tools like the GPTs and the Midjourneys and such. And I don't know, like having read Range, I actually feel a bit more comfortable in my position. And again, I won't make the book's argument for it. If you're interested, you can read it. But just because I was talking about specialization, I felt that I should share some reading that I've done recently that has a nice little antidote to the way that you think of it. Because like the idea of specialization is a really old one too. If you want to sit on the econ side of things, you've got Smith describing in Wealth of Nations, kind of describing the process of producing pins. And in fact, there's also this worry that because of the gains of specialization are so great, that because the work is so specialized, that people would sort of be very numbed by this unbelievably repetitive task. But one thing I've tended to notice is when you see people criticizing econ, they tend to think that econ professors are like running around all quoting Smith at each other like it's the Bible, and nobody does that. But I don't know, it's sometimes nice to read some of the early material, especially when you see people running into things that sound like they're very modern problems. You actually tend to find that there's a lot of things that seem very new are actually very old problems. Great example of this, if you want a fascinating read and to realize how old a lot of our tech really is, reading the laying of the first transatlantic telegraph cable is fascinating stuff, especially because when you think about if you think about digital communication, representing communications with ones and zeros, that seems like a very modern way, right? It used to be that undersea cables would be measured in terms of the number of circuits that they could complete, like two-way communication. Whereas, you and I probably don't care that much about it, right? You upload your thing and people can download it whenever they want. You don't need to be in sync. And if you look at William Thomson's inventions and his devices, William Thomson, probably better known as Lord Kelvin, a lot of the work that he did was very much built around these very clear representations, which aren't exactly binary, but when you look at what they're trying to do, it might as well be binary. So anyway, sorry, that was really, really far off the topic on this. All that I really wanted to do was give an excuse for a book recommendation here. But one of the things that this is one of the reasons why I find Against the Storm such an interesting game. So you play so many of these games, and whether it's a Factorio or an Industries of Titan or more of a strategy game with a production element to it, there's this very heavy element of specialization. And Against the Storm is so interesting because of its restrictions on the types of buildings that you can build. And so you wind up in these situations where you've got a tool shop, right? So it's like, what's the thing that you would build in any other game? Well, it's like, you build the tool shop for the tools, and then you build the cooperage for the barrels, because that way you're going to have the smallest expenditure of the goods that you have for the greatest rewards. And then maybe the thing you would worry about would be whether or not you can get enough people to work all of those different sites. But even then, you can probably say, well, we have to spread our workers over a smaller number of buildings, but, in the end, we're, give it enough time and we're still going to be producing more, and we're going to have to give up less. But because one of the most precious things that you have is your choice of building, all of a sudden you can actually choose, and it makes a lot of sense to avoid building these very specialized buildings. Because I've certainly wound up relying on simple tools for a lot of my mission, for a lot of my outposts to be able to just push me over the edge in terms of the resolve. But is this the sort of thing that I would be willing to give up the ability to build, let's say, 2 complex food items? Well, maybe not, right? So anyways, the 3 little stars basically indicates that you'll spend the least to be able to achieve the thing that you're looking for. But like I said, one of the things that becomes really interesting in this game is this trade-off between not only the fact that you have a finite number of buildings, but also the fact that you're drawing from a deck. So picking that building doesn't mean that the complement that you need is necessarily going to be made available to you. You can increase the likelihood by spending amber, but even then, you're no guarantees. So, moving on, brick oven. So very good at making pies, less good at making coal and incense. Grill, very good at skewers. Also can produce copper bars. I love this. Yes, you go out for a nice dinner, and you got some blacksmith in the background, taking advantage of the opportunity during the break. Vliss Greybone. She may have tools, luxury items, building materials, and perks for sale. She is willing to buy packs of good, cooked food, metal, building materials, fuel, and tools. Mist Piercers. You are allowed to use the legendary Mist Piercers. With such a rare gift at your disposal, the Queen's expectations are high. The content of glades will be revealed, but each discovered glade increases the Queen's impatience by 0.5. I like this idea too, the fact that the ticking clock is the patience of the ruler. And so by using the specialized tools, it's kind of like if your department costs a lot more than all of the other ones, you kind of need to be delivering something really important to the company. Obviously, I don't need to use an analogy. I think everybody understands the impatience of a ruler and assigning, in fact, probably understands it better because of the types of games that we play, but still, it's a neat trade-off. And finally, prayer book scouts work 10% faster on glade events for every firekeeper assigned to the hearth. I didn't know you could assign more than one. All right, let's look at our upgrades. So we've got 67. I think I'd said that I was going to go for the Monastery of the Vigilant Flame no matter what. Now that probably cuts me off. Yeah, I don't think we'll be able to buy anything else, but it does at least bring me up to the even level. So a permanent plus 2% to burning duration for all types of fuel burned in the hearth, and then the embarkation bonuses of coal and oil. So for the next option, let's see what we would potentially wind up picking. So permanent 3% bonus to arrival speed, and then discount. Can get better hearths for the Brass Forge. Pioneer's Gate makes my villagers faster, and an extra embarkation point. So the Obsidian Archives, when it says fundamental upgrade, this seems to be unlocking new features for the game for me. So factions will settle the world map alongside you. You can set up trade routes with their towns and compete with them for bonus resources at the end of the cycle. This is interesting. I may wind up unlocking this, but obviously there's no shortage of complexity for me to understand in the first place. Yeah, honestly, I'm probably just going to wind up sitting on the machinery and the artifacts for the next little while, but I like that I have them. And I have a feeling we're probably going to be... I don't think we're going to max out level 9 before we get to the next step. Okay, that was easier than I thought it would be. Now, I'm assuming if you complete a settlement quickly, like the distances between these seem to be slightly off. It could be, you know, an illusion, but I'm pretty sure this one took longer to set up. So if I get it done really quickly, I'm sure, you know, we could get more than one settlement. But I would expect next week when we play this, assuming we play this next week, but I'm very much enjoying Against the Storm, so it seems to me like a good excuse to keep going with it. But we'll go for the 63 food, and it's really just a question here of deciding which biome I want to deal with, after which we will complete the cycle. And given that we've made a bit more progress, I think it will be interesting to see what the you know, what happens afterwards. Maybe, you know, on a fresh cycle, that would be the time that we start competing with other factions. I'm not sure, but those are considerations for another time. All right, let's see who's online. Thank you everybody for watching. Just a word for what the oncoming week's going to look like. I still have a lot of stuff to get through, but I'm getting close to the end of sort of the stuff that I need to do. For streaming, I'm going to be doing Phantom Brigade on Wednesday, and then probably Cyberpunk on Friday, but I'm not 100% sure. I always kind of reserve the right to... I always kind of reserve the right to play something different on a Friday. And of course, as always, Monday is a Hooded Horse Day, so I'm happy to keep it that way. At some point, I will come back to Terra Invicta, although I will confess, I'm actually really have a hankering for Old World as well. So I'm gonna have to figure out that balance. I'm also looking to do Clan Folk at some point. So I'm not sure if I have to add an extra day or something like that. But yeah, I'm hoping after this week, a lot of the stuff that's been stressing me out will be in the bag, and then I can start focusing on another set of things, including some YouTube stuff. Now, I hope you don't mind. Normally I like hosting stuff that's related to Against the Storm. There's actually a number of Against the Storm streamers going, so I will leave you to click on the game down below, and that's just because I don't always get a chance to host Outworld, who has been really enjoying Diablo 2. It's actually... He has never played a Diablo game before. So he's basically, it's a chance to see someone who's never played a Diablo game, like, have the time of his life playing Diablo 2 Resurrected. So completely understand if you all want to go and watch more Against the Storm on one of the other ones. I don't know anybody who's doing Against the Storm, so I can't make a strong recommendation one way or the other. But I did want to leave you in Outworld's hands, just because he's actually somebody I've basically known, much like Kite, since the start of my little Twitch journey. So it's a chance for me to host him because he's in Australia and I don't always get a chance to see him. But anyways, I'm going to stop babbling because I have some stuff that I need to get through. Please enjoy Outworld stream or whatever Against the Storm stream that you wind up seeing. I'll see some of you Wednesday for Phantom Brigade, and the rest of you I'll probably see in a week for another Hooded Horse game, probably Against the Storm. Until then, bye. Oh, wait a minute, sorry. I can't believe I didn't do this before. I don't think I actually shouted out Dendrian, who's a wonderful Against the Storm streamer. So if you're looking for someone to play Against the Storm, please follow them. They've also done Graveyard Keeper, but Dendrian is somebody I found through Against the Storm, and somebody I should have shouted out so much earlier. So sorry about that.